Hi, this is Jim Cramer, founder of TheStreet.com with Dan Dicker, our energy expert, talking about a group that I know I think's come alive that you probably don't know. And yet there's a lot of money going to be made, not has been made like so many other stocks, but going to be made. I'm talking about deepwater drilling, Gulf of Mexico. Dan, this group has reignited, not enough yet. There's still money to be made. Why?
Well, it's a renaissance, Jim, and here's why. And it's obvious because we've had Deepwater Horizon in 2010, which really put the kibosh on what was the Gulf of Mexico. But now there's such an excitement. There's been new finds that nobody really expected in the Gulf of Mexico. Two specifically, Coronado. This is going 6 miles down, 180 miles off of Louisiana. But what they're finding in terms of number of barrels equivalent of natural gas and oil down there really is as exciting as what we find in these tight oil plays, these shale oil plays that we talk about all the time. But I thought that we should talk a little bit about what's really a much more exciting play, at least in terms of the growth potential over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. This is an area, deep water in the Gulf of Mexico, that has been left for dead, and their stocks have been left for dead. But I believe, as do a number of other analysts, that it is going to grow quicker in the Gulf of Mexico in terms of production than even in these tight oil plays from now until 2017, 2018.
Okay, who's Coronado? Who's the other one? And who are they calling and saying, "Listen, it's real deep. We need your help"?
You know, I'm not gonna surprise you with any of these names because they are the names associated with deep water in the Gulf of Mexico. They are Chevron, they are Conoco, they are Anadarko, and they are BP, which is clearly, still has and did when Deepwater Horizon happened, one of the major presences in the Gulf of Mexico and still does. Now, if you're looking at a total value, they're still involved in a major lawsuit. The civil suit's going on in New Orleans, and that's going to be that's going to hang over the stock at least until the end of May. But I think if you're looking for a spot and certainly a major that has performed miserably and has nowhere to go but up, if they should finally clear out from this terrible burden of Deepwater Horizon, which I think is finally coming, BP at 42 is a very nice major play based upon Gulf of Mexico assets.
I know people want to own the dividend, but may I suggest this may be a case where if you think it's going to be end of May, maybe you buy July 35 calls. You've sacrificed the dividend. Bet that the case ends, that it doesn't end badly, but if it does end badly, you're stopped out. And then you play this because one of the things that's been amazing to me is how many assets BP had. They sold a huge amount, they paid off a lot, and yet you're saying now
but
they still have more.
That's what they kept. That were the crown jewels. And that's what they kept. They kept Gulf of Mexico assets. Anadarko was another one. I've been pounding the table with you on Anadarko.
Right.
Everywhere we look, they're doing the right thing. Absolutely.
Now, okay, so I know that Halliburton was involved, and I know that because of Macondo. But
exactly.
Obviously you need them very badly to get to this.
And I want to go to secondary guys because in many ways, some of the big guys like Halliburton and in fact Schlumberger, who reported tremendously well
Stock's still at 71, Dan.
Well, you know what? I want to go to secondary plays. Others that
Energy,
I think
ESV.
Well, maybe Ensco. I think that's a good idea. I have even better ones because I want to go as directed towards Gulf of Mexico asset as I possibly can, and that to me is something like Cameron, which does all they really do is take care of blowout preventers. Right. That's what they do. And when we're talking about these big, deep water finds and how they're going to be serviced, Cameron comes to mind as one of those great plays that you can look at.
Can Cameron ever be taken over like Lufkin was?
I think it can. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
So you've got that kicker out there.
Well, you have something, but it's certainly not in the stock. No. And certainly at Cameron, at $60, it just, I think, is a very solid long-term play.
No one's coming with Cameron in ages. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and even if you want to play the platform guys, because they clearly are going to, I don't think rig is anywhere near what its value is. If you want to play Seadrill, it's been really gotten beaten up forever. Is that yield safe
in Seadrill?
I'm not sure. Yeah. So, but whether they cut it or not, that's always the tell when you're supposed to buy it.
Right.
Right?
No,
when they cut that dividend, that dividend, that's the point when it drops, 8 or 9%, and you must buy it because that's the bottom of the market.
Okay, so let's review. So if you want hidden asset BP hidden by the lawsuit.
That's
Chevron's
right.
there.
Major,
They've
you know,
always been.
Anadarko, it's already rallied, so maybe the value is not there
Maybe
anymore.
Anadarko
BP,
comes down on a day when oil goes to 80, for the futures come down, so you
Absolutely.
do that. Cameron is a sleeper, but that could be right. Obviously, Halliburton. And Schlumberger still not reacting to that good quarter with this kicker. One last question. If it's good in the Gulf of Mexico, how about Mexico? Is that field off of Mexico's coast, is that the biggest underutilized field left in the world?
It's hard for me to say, but for right now, there's no question that the majors and even the big independents like an Anadarko, their hands are full off of Louisiana. I mean, they've got all they can manage. They can't lease this stuff fast enough. They can't pay more than ever. They're paying $700 and some odd an acre for leases. Last year they paid $450. This is how hot the Gulf of Mexico is starting
What
to
a
become.
great call. I got to work on this. Dan Dicker, thank you so much. Energy expert. He's been very right on these videos. You should study and take action. I'm Jim Cramer. Stay with us.